video, something we threw together using this, the Insta360 1X. I know y'all probably seen other people using this camera. Everyone's using it right now. They actually sent this thing out to me for free and asked me if I was interested in doing a video with it. They even mentioned compensating me for making a video about it, but I told them I wasn't interested because I was truly interested in doing a proper video on this where I could say nasty things if I wanted to, which I will. So they're not today's sponsor, but today's video sponsor is in fact CuriosityStream. CuriosityStream is like an educational streaming service that you can get like on everything. We've talked about this last time, that basically if you have access to the internet, most certainly will be able to access CuriosityStream. It's a content streaming service for educational material. They've got over 2,400 documentaries and non-fictional titles on there. Some of the best filmmakers in the world, number of exclusive originals, all aimed to help you learn but be entertained at the same time. Entertaining and educational. Two words that didn't always go together, but they certainly do. And the guy behind this is the same guy who's been behind the Discovery Channel. Someone who's very passionate about content education, wanting you to learn something, wanting you to expand your mind. Personally, I love all the stuff about like the space and traveling. I love trying to envision the future and what it's going to be like. And there's a lot of really cool content like that on CuriosityStream. You can sign up at CuriosityStream for just $2.99 a month, but for you, the first 31 days can be free. Go to curiositystream.com/JakeTheGardenSnake, enter in promo code JakeTheGardenSnake, get those 31 days for free. It's a great service. Check it out. If you like seeing content from me, support the people that support me, and learn something while you're at it. It's win. We all win. It's great. Look, 360 cameras have been out for a couple years now, but haven't really caught my interest too much yet. It's hard to find the balance of affordability, quality, and size. And I think this is the first camera to really come to the market that actually fits that bill. Like the GoPro one, for instance, it's like something the size of a Pop-Tart. 4 cameras, I mean, they're amazing quality, but they're like, you know, $1,500, $1,600 rigs. This one, I believe, is 400 something bucks. In the realm of action cameras, it's right there with it, but it's capable of quite a bit more. Someone who's trying to create content, like motorcycle-related riding content, this is a really cool bit of kit to have with you. This lets you do some really neat things, especially, you know, 90% of the time, I'm on my own. I'm a lone man out there trying to film things. I don't always have a guy to hold the camera and move it. This lets you beat a lot of that stuff. You know, first of all, when you put it out on that pole and you extend it away from yourself, it deletes its own selfie stick. It's not the first 360 camera to do that, but again, it's the one that meets those affordability, size, quality, you know, it hits those three. I've had a car follow me a few times. That's a whole thing. That's a driver, the rider, and a camera person. Putting this camera out with a stick looks like one of those rigs on the back of a vehicle following you. And that's the other thing, the stabilization is amazing on this thing. You know, because it's capturing a full 360, it's able to float the lens around like you've never seen before. You know, the newest GoPros and DJIs, this has really been stepped up in the last few years, but you can't beat the stability you're going to get on a 360 camera. You can set this camera up, drive or ride past it, do your wheelies, jump past it, and then in post you can make the angle follow you. Should you forget the GoPro, forget the DJI action camera, is this what you need to go out and buy? Maybe. The problem with this camera is, well, there's a couple things. First of all, you gotta understand, if you want to run that long pole, that big stick, I don't know if you realize how long that stick is when it's fully extended. It's not something you're just gonna put on you and leave the house. First of all, it's kind of obscene looking. There's certain ways I'm sure you can have it in traffic, but like, wouldn't want to try it. Sticking out to the sides is absolutely out of the question. You're completely in the other lane with that thing. And even if you have it front or back, you gotta remember there is a potential impelling yourself. It's a giant aluminum pole. It's good that it's aluminum. It's not some plasticky, flimsy thing. The video you saw where I was riding around, none of that audio you heard was from the camera. That was all using my GoPro, which has a mic inside the helmet. I can't blame the camera for this, but at the end of the day, when you're flying down the road with an open camera like this, the audio is never going to be good. If you held a GoPro out the window going, 50, 60 miles an hour, no case with no external mic, it's not going to sound good either. Like I said, I can't really fault the camera for that, but it's just something else you have to stop and set up every time. And because you have to use the GoPro's audio, it also has another bit of a tricky thing, because the editing on this thing, I found it best to use its own software to edit, to turn all the angles, do everything. And it's actually a decent program. It could use some work, but it doesn't really have any way of swapping audio inside of it. It's kind of a basic program. So it means I have to edit the 360 footage in its entirety, render out that, then move that into, I use Premiere Pro for instance, and then combine it with my GoPro audio. So you have like a clap at the beginning and you have all your audio. That means you have to edit the entirety of that footage. This is a camera, you really have to sort of stop and think about what you're doing, sort of set up shots. Put the pole on you, turn this camera on, turn your GoPro on, clap, go do your scene, try to not let it be too long, stop it, then when you get home, edit and render out all of this and then combined it. See, it's a number of extra steps, as well as it's really just hard to just take this camera and go. I did find running the chest mount, this guy right here, and they give you a lot of stuff. This thing comes with a lot of different mounts. Putting this thing on kind of a chest mount like this and mounting it here, it actually gives you like that sort of floating, you can really see the bike turning underneath you kind of stuff. I did have the camera out like this by doing all those shots, and I was talking to Spicy 110, and he suggested next time I do that to run it more up, because you'll see sometimes that you can kind of see the cut line right across there. And what we found with this camera is the closer something is coming in this way, the more likely you'll see that line. The further out it gets, the better it gets. Compared to like a GoPro, for instance, like I'm running a Hero 7 with an auxiliary battery on my head, a mic. I'll put a link to all the stuff I use. Because of that big battery, I mean, I can turn that thing on and just go out and ride, and it'll run the SD card out before it'll run the battery out. It's a great point of view. It's great if you just want a system for leaving your house, turning on a camera, and capturing everything without having to think about it. Great for that, but it's limited. A camera like this gives you some amazing options, but as you see, there's a lot of setup. You'll also see the claim on this thing that it's got like 5.8K or something. Yeah, remember, that's like the whole entirety of the footage. When you actually zoom into something that doesn't look super warped, you're getting about it's a decent 1080p. And then one final criticism I could say of this camera, and these are hard, I'm being hard on it, but I'm just trying to be realistic. These lenses are just kind of out there exposed, and there's not really a cover over them. I think maybe they should see if they could do that in the future ones, or at least maybe make this where these are unboltable and you can order a new lens for it. Because if you're gonna do any kind of like off-roading, like you notice in those videos, I didn't want to go into the woods with this thing because I was so afraid of this snagging something. One, just being too far out, but even on the chest, there's a lot of times where bushes and things just rake right past me. I thought, what if I scratch the lens on one of these things? I don't see an easy way to replace them. And unfortunately, I'm not even really sure how I did it. I have a very, very small little scratch on one of the lenses right here. Now you don't see it. I've looked on the footage and it's pretty hard to, but I do have one. So it's a fairly rugged design, but it's definitely not water or even rain proof for that matter. I mean, there's just open ports in it. So again, it kind of limits you on like how you use this thing. To me, at the end of the day, it's a B camera, but it's like the coolest B camera in the freaking world. The options are massive. I try to show you a few things I think that are cool to do with it. If you go and look at like Insta360's Instagram, tons of people doing way cooler stuff than I've ever thought about doing with this thing. It even comes with this rope. You can hook this thing up to it and you spin it around your head, and I think it's called bullet time or something. There's a whole mode you put it in, and it makes some really cool footage. It's definitely a camera I'm gonna be taking with me. I love the fact, like I said, you can also just set it up somewhere that like you and your boys can ride past it, do whatever. You don't have to have someone sitting there like manning the camera. It makes you look way cooler than you really are. And honestly, isn't that what we're all trying to do, right? So check them out. I'll have a link down there. They sent me like an affiliate link thing, so it will help me if you buy this camera, but by no means no pressure. You do what you want to do. My buddy Spicy110 has made a much more detailed video on this camera, so go check his thing out. I'm going to put a link to that as well. If he helps you choose to buy the camera, let's say I got you 95% of the way and he got you the last 5%, use his link because he has a link as well. I think that's just fair, right? I don't know. Again, thanks to our sponsor Curiosity Stream. Check them out. Like I said, guys, you supporting those people supports me. Spicy110 talks about it. Listen to him. He's got a better... He's more articulate than I am. It's because he comes from the country that, with the language that we try to, yeah, this is their language. We're just trying over here. We don't know. This is America, okay? I don't know what I'm doing. Y'all take care. I don't do that. I don't want peace, anarchy. Thanks for watching. See y'all in the next video.